Tobias, I am super excited to have you back on the channel because today we're going to talk about your newest project close to Munich in Schwabhausen. Tell us more about it.
Actually, thanks. You're as excited as I am about the project, I think, because it's our home turf. So we're looking really forward to the project. Yes, I mean, this is a very, I would call it the ESG product because it's, of course, again, very energy efficient. So KfW 40 we plan to build. It's senior living or elderly living, so it's good for the society actually, and it's around the corner from our office. So we are very looking forward to it. Generally, the product or the project, as I said, is elderly living in the suburban area from Munich. It's well connected to the public transport. So the S-Bahn, the Munich S-Bahn, is right in front of the door. So you walk just out of the building and you cross the street to the S-Bahn. It's actually very, very good. You don't need a car in this case. And we want to, like, the project should be that seniors have their own apartments. They live in barrier-free apartments, so they don't need, basically they can go with a wheelchair and use the apartments, which is also not very normal in most of the German buildings. And if they need assistance, so like a care service or something, or like a nurturing service, they have it in the ground floor. So there is an office and like a community room for people to do like games, to meet, to do like a Christmas party or whatever. So it's a community area in this case, and then the operator, like the service, the nursing service, is available for assistance for the people if they need it. So they are separate from each other, but they're basically linked in the project, in the building, so that there is a optimum of exchange.
So this property is in Munich or in the suburban area of Munich, and we know that over the last decades people in Germany moved from the countryside to the city. Megatrend 1. The German population is getting older and older, and we have a seniority home. Megatrend 2. And sustainable investing, everybody wants to do it, and you get this KfW subsidies. Megatrend 3. Can we just call this the megatrend property?
Yeah, I guess yes. I mean, we checked also the market if there are comparable projects like this, and you just find two in the nearest area of around Munich. So they are not located well enough like our project is, with direct connection to the metropolitan or like the local transport. So there are two in this area, and we are the third now, and they have very good, like, the selling is very well. The project looks pretty. The operators are there, so it's a mega trend in this case. There were statistics out lately where they compared the different asset classes in Germany, and with the construction permits, how there was a decrease of the construction permits given away from the city. So most of the asset classes decreased, but seniors and student increased by 8.5 or 8.4% since 1 year. So this is actually is a proof for the trend.
And one of the projects, you told me about this earlier, is like even behind the airport. And just for people, the airport is like an hour away from the Munich city center. So this is not comparable to the one that is like right in front of the S-Bahn from you.
Correct. I mean, when you enter the S-Bahn in this from the project, from the location, and you are in Marienplatz or at the Hauptbahnhof, the central station from Munich, you are there in 35 minutes. So a lot of cities around Munich reach the central station or the Marienplatz in 34 minutes, and this is one of them.
This will be a first of its kind in terms of real estate security token, because for the very first time we have one with 0% interest, but, and this is the highest one that we will have on the platform so far, 50% profit share. Why did you decide to go for that number?
Yeah, correct. So when we bought the project, we had a JV partner in this project, so a company from Austria. They wanted to join, and we wanted to do it together. But we found an agreement that by chance we can buy them out of the project. When we say, okay, we want to have the shares back, basically, and we put the money on the table. And we talked about this, and we said, okay, maybe it's a very good opportunity for the community, and also to like continue building up a relationship for long term with the investors, with the private investors. So because in this case, it's us, FiveRocks, and the community in one project, and we want to give them like the same conditions like the other JV partner from Austria had. So it's 50% profit share, zero interest, and that's why we talked about this and structured this deal, and this is what we want to give back to the community.
Why did you decide to get a joint venture partner in this one in the first place?
I mean, it's no secret that we are a good company, but it's still a young company. We do a good job, I think, and like our track record proves it. But it's still that somehow we have capacity problems. It's just normal, I think, and that's why we thought, okay, we want to have a JV partner on board. It was last year. So now we matured again, and we continued our projects and our business model, and we are growing, and we have good partners also behind us. So now we think, okay, we can handle it by ourselves. Willich is also, in this case, very progressed. We're about to finish it in January, February, or like have a Bezugsreife where people can move in. So it's the next stage now, and that's why we think we can do it by ourselves and give the chance to the community to invest in the project and be our partner.
And also for you, kind of the community, the investors as joint venture partner is, I think, pretty relaxed, because the investors, they don't tell you what tiles to get or what to do there or how to construct, or we're just investors. We don't want to tell you how to do your business.
This is also like our strategy, democratization of investment into real estate via the token. So we put our projects or like the apartments from our project and rent it out long term and give the investors the chance to be part of this community portfolio. And the JV partner from Austria, they are very conservative. So this would never work with them. They would think, oh no, it's not working. We want to make it a classic way, etc. So I think it's just that we can sit in the driver's seat and have the investors in the back seat or next to us in this case, and like push our strategy.
And this fits right into the question that we get a lot from you guys, especially from the Islamic community, that you wanted something without an interest rate, but only with profit share. So I'm pretty sure people will love this token a lot. So thank you for doing this and inviting the Islamic community to invest finally with us as well.
I think it's also one reason why we love to work with your platform, because we can build individual products. So we have basically a lot of projects right now, or like products with zero interest but profit share. We have yearly yield and the profit share. We have only yields in terms when we rent out the portfolio. Maybe we find something in the future also, but this means that investors can also diversify their portfolio with different projects and different locations. And how can you do it when you are a single investor going in some area in Germany, buying one apartment, spending 50, 60, 100K in your apartment? So how can you diversify? And I think this is also one argument for the revolutionary industry, or with the blockchain in the real estate sector's revolution. So I think we as a young and progressive developer, I think that's a good strategy.
I fully agree. People can talk to you and make some wishes. People can talk to us and make some wishes. So this is your chance. If you want anything in terms of product what we don't have on the platform just yet, what you would like to have, then let us know in the comments. Investors will invest again in a property development, and after some point, 2-3 years, whatever, the property is gonna be finished. What's the plan after construction?
After construction, of course, okay, first of all, we need a certain pre-sale quote to start construction. We are very positive in this project, in the nowadays time, that we fulfill it, because, as I mentioned in the beginning, elderly living, ESG product, very good location, Munich metropolitan region, etc., etc. So when we reach the pre-sale quote, we start with the construction and continue selling. And of course, when we finish the project after construction, our goal is that we sold most of the apartments and keep 3 or 4 apartments by ourselves for the community, do a refinancing with the community so they can invest in, and so also to have like a proof of the project, to have the skin in the game in this case, or the skin in the project long term, that we stand to our project and we are committed.
Who would you like to sell the apartments to? Either to elderly people, kind of for them as a home that they can move in themselves, or also people watching that are interested in real estate, can they maybe take a small portion of equity, invest it in your project, and then when they get the 50% profit share, immediately buy a flat as an investment?
Sure, I mean, this is of course, this is for the investor one of the most efficient way to buy real estate, because you get interest or you get profit share. You have a yield on your equity or your return on equity, and then you can build a flat, buy a flat. It's perfect. Yeah, it's a good scenario. We can do it. I mean, or if investors like to do it, of course, welcome.
Let's close this interview with 2 questions, one that you got and one that we got. The one that you got is, why don't you do it the normal way? So you don't get money from a bank and just mortgage and develop yourself and then sell the flats the normal way. Why are you doing this with the token?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's fitting our strategy to be like innovative in terms of real estate. So we want to develop this online way of selling flats, but of course we will still sell offline, so the traditional way with brokers and clients going to the notary, etc. Of course we will do it, but I think in this project we will find a hybrid solution for closing the project.
It's just smart business, right? Why focusing on one thing only if there's multiple things, and you can actually also diversify your risk and be more safe for investors that way.
Correct, yeah, absolutely. And this is what we want to do.
And the question that we got from our community is from Mohaf, who asks, what would happen if the developer cancels the project? Which I think is a good question. What if you decide at some point, we're not gonna do the project, we're gonna bounce, see you later, investors?
Yeah, of course, I think it's a good question in this case. I think it's pretty easy to answer from our side. There is, first of all, no reason to cancel the project, because we bought the project, we did the financing of the project, we invested equity, and it's on our home turf. It's right around the corner, and it's a very good, as we mentioned earlier, a good ESG product. So there are, most of the arguments are, or like all our arguments are for building the project. So there is no reason for us to cancel it at any time. Why?
And this is your business model, developing property. So if you cannot just not do your business. And I think as well, we're in this kind of together to build something long term. And if we would just investors over left and right, then there's no long term and no community in this.
Absolutely.
One.
I mean, you mentioned I think one of the most valuable points. There has to be a trust between investors and developers, and vice versa, actually. So in this case, we trust the investors that they want to stick with us long term and invest in good projects. And this is our business model. We started in 2019, actually. We started with the vision that we want to give access to private investors to our projects. And we can prove it, that we started already in 2019, that we have now a good solution with the token, and a very cheap solution in terms of transaction costs, this is perfect and it's great, and that's our vision, and we want to fulfill the vision actually, and this is why we don't want to cancel or make any and dirty deals or whatever. It doesn't fit to our projects, to our business model, because we live as a developer and we live from developments and to sell them again, and that's what we do.
Then thank you for being on board in the name of the community. Good luck with the project in Schwabhausen. Any last words, and what are the next steps? What can people expect?
So the next steps is basically that we present our concept to the city of Schwabhausen, that we say, okay, why we want to have this operator for the nursing service, and to like present them the floor plans, etc. So this is the next step, and then we go directly into marketing for selling and do like the construction permit. This is a formal process, the construction permit, actually, because in this case we developed a zoning plan, so we know exactly what we have to do in terms to get the construction right, and then it's a quicker process than compared, for example, to Mönchengladbach in this case. Yeah, this is the next steps. Then of course the negotiation with the institutional investor, and then to have like the whole project ready to start selling.